And welcome back, and we're on to the 18th of January today, and let's get going with the first question. Okay, so what do we have? So we have a few graphs, and the question is saying, well, I presume what it wants you to do is say whether an increasing or decreasing function. Now, a decreasing function is where specifically a decreasing function is where dy dx is less than 0. In other words, the gradient is negative. So you can see in graph 1, the gradient is always negative. Even though it's more negative in some places, it's always negative. So therefore, this is a decreasing function. Similarly here, this gradient is always negative. Even though it becomes less negative and more negative, it is still always negative. So this is a decreasing function. And you can probably guess where we're going with graph 3, which is always positive. So therefore, that is an increasing function. Just a nice, straightforward, do you understand what these mean type of question. Next question. Okay, so curve has a gradient function. Now the key about this question is it's giving you the gradient function. So I don't need to differentiate. I already have the function to work out the gradient. So basically it wants me to work out dy dx when x is equal to minus 4. So I'm just going to put minus 4 into that equation. So that's going to be minus 3 times minus 4 squared, which is 16, plus 1. Well, minus 3 times 16 is minus 48, plus 1 is going to give me minus 47. So in other words, a very steeply negative gradient. Question done. The 2 by 2 matrix I is the identity matrix. Write down the identity matrix. Well, this is, again, another straightforward one. Good day today. Nice, straightforward day. So the identity matrix is basically the matrix you multiply something by in order to end up what you started with. So the identity for numbers is 1, because you multiply anything by 1, you end up with 1. So this is just a straightforward 1, 0, 0, 1. Not terrible again. Last question. Oh, okay, this looks a bit more challenging. So this is a indices question, and I guess I was trying to think if I could choose another number rather than just doing it through 2, but 2 seems safer. So I'm going to write the left-hand side as 2 to 3, because 2 to the power of 3 is 8, and then brackets x squared plus 4x plus 3. And that is equal to 2. Well, 16 is 2 to the power of 4. And again, brackets, I need to multiply this out. So it's going to be x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now, because the base values are now equal, it means the powers must be equal, which means that 3, I'll expand the brackets at the same time. So 3x squared plus 12x plus 9 is equal to 4x squared plus 20x plus 24. All right, let's move on to the right-hand side. So 0 is equal to, well, that's good, the x squareds cancel. So x squared, 20 minus 12 is plus 8x. And 24 minus 9 is going to give me 15. This is factorised, of course it does. So that's going to give me x plus 5, x plus 3. What does the question want? The question wants to solve. In other words, which values of x solve this equation? And the values which solve the equation are minus 3 and minus 5. And that is today done. Not a terrible day today, actually. It's some sort of fairly straightforward, do you understand, do you know the theory type questions. But as ever, anything you're not sure about, leave a comment below, and I'll see you for tomorrow's video. Thanks all.